saying, look within your situation. Like that's where you get the term consciousness from. You know,
Right.
to be conscious, to be cognizant, to be aware of what's going on, to be the opposite of sleep, to be woke.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Any dead fish can flow downstream.
There's no doubt.
And
no
it
doubt.
starts at home with the parents. You know, 9 times out of 10, if the parents don't have it in order, then the kids won't.
No
Right.
doubt, no doubt.
So hopefully next time we can provide numbers for troubled youth, family counseling
No
to
doubt,
provide
no doubt.
provide a way out so to prevent their children from entering in the system
Right.
or themselves. you
So
know?
any listeners, contact us so that way we can put your information out there. So people that might need help, like say mental health, that's a big thing we talked about earlier.
doubt.
And a lot of these things are little factors in the community that help to add to these things. We eat bad food
Right.
that ends up messing us up mentally. You know, we're living in houses that got lead paint that messes with us mentally. And then they put us in these little programs and say that we animals and need to shoot us up with more drugs, so then we go crazier.
And we living in communities under constant violent barrage. You know what I'm saying?
And let's try to get some of these liquor stores off the corner,
Right.
man, and replace them with juice bars.
Right.
And we're gonna provide numbers soon to help out with all that.
Yeah, some resources for y'all, no doubt, no doubt. So that wraps up segment 1, criminal injustice. You know what I'm saying? Just food for thought. Just take some time to digest it. Take some time to really reflect on what we're trying to share with you guys, and let it resonate. You know what I mean?
And remember, man, always try to outsmart those who are trying to use you as a cash cow. You're being hunted
You being
every
hunted,
day. You're being
you got the target on
evaluated
your back.
every day.
Every day.
So I know the peer pressure for the young people out there
It's
is
real.
very strong, but let's try to analyze the outcome. If I do this, how this going to affect me and my family and my community, because it just don't affect you. It affects everything around you.
We can't lose no more, y'all. Yo, we can't lose no more us.
Right.
Like it's too many people who brown and black, who look like us, who years of their life, years of their potential, has been taken away. You know what I'm saying? Over circumstantial things. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's too much. It's too much.
And imagine what problems they could have solved.
Right.
And that's on many levels. I mean, around the world, people can do amazing things in any industry. And that's the crazy thing about it, is that a lot of times we so busy to like to stick ourselves in little boxes and say we only allowed to I can only pick some corn, so that's it. But we can do a lot more than that. You know what I mean? We can do a lot more. And I think that if we did a lot more, and when we were doing a lot more, we built our own Black Wall Street and all these other type of things. But then we allowed people to scare us away. Oh, I better just sit in the corner and let me clean your house instead. But we don't have to do that. We got a choice.
I think we should govern ourselves too, man.
Yeah.
And that start with an education, and like you was, piggyback on what you were saying, Red, with the Black Wall Street, a lot of us is scared to jump out there and become our own, entrepreneur, our own man. It's like we're more comfortable with punching the clock with for somebody else than actually growing and building a community. Look, for instance, look at Baltimore City. Look what's going around the inner city, urban communities, man. They building Starbucks and stuff like that. And to like the naked eye, you're like, oh man, finally they knocked down those bandos, and they putting up a Starbucks and they putting up this restaurants and these little, different sandwich shops and stuff like that. And but at the same time, they're taking your community away.
Yeah, what makes Baltimore isn't Baltimore anymore.
True.
You know what I
You
mean?
know?
Like that's the authenticity. Every city got that. Like their own local thing. We've been here for 100 years, and this how we do. And you come over to 13th Street, and you gonna get this.
Mm-hmm.
But then when they move Starbucks in, that's the same corporate. So you getting corporate.
But what the blind blacks say about that? Well, before that, y'all ruined y'all community. You know, y'all sold drugs on the corner. Y'all caused fires and smoke cracked and caused bandos to be up. And when y'all had it, you didn't take care of it right. But then I say, you know, what brought that in to cause that problem? You understand?
Right.
So it goes back to knowledge itself, being properly educated, and knowing when a trick or wool has been pulled over your eyes. So these Starbucks won't be built up. You know, Jay said it the best. If you're going to hustle, put that back into your community.
Right.
Buy the house that your mother was renting.
Buy your community.
Or
And that's a win-win.
Or even if Starbucks is built, position yourself where Starbucks can't just come in and only have their outsiders come in and they profit and take all their money back out with them. And you can't be that. You can't be a manager. You can't be that. You know what I mean?
You're not getting none of that Starbucks bread
At
back to
least.
the community. You know what I'm saying?
If they're going to be in profit as well, everybody else does it.
And you can't do that behind bars.
Nope.
Nah.
Can't do that behind bars. You can't do that having somebody tell you when to get up,
Right.
when to use the bathroom,
Right.
When to eat,
when to
when
wash
to
up,
sleep. Yeah, right.
when to eat, when to sleep, when to see your family.
And if you look at it from the oppressor side, here's the beauty of this whole little plan. They lock you up, and then on top of that, they can turn around and say, now, certain rights are not afforded to you anymore because you went through the system that we placed for you to go into.
Like voting.
Voting rights. Right to bear arms, if you believe that that's a good right. You know what I mean?
Or even getting decent jobs that's paying
Right.
over $15 an hour.
Yep.
You check the application, it says, check this box if you had a felony. You know
But
what I'm
this
saying?
is the crazy part. They say this won't be held against you.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Oh, it's held against you. Yeah.
Guaranteed.
In that back room, they're like, nah,
No thanks.
You know what I'm saying?
So what's the number as far as the black men that's in America that's behind bars? What's the
We are 13% of the
Total
national population, right? But when you look at, that's a very small percentage. You know what I'm saying? Everybody in the United States, black people, African Americans, only 13%.
Yeah.
But then you look at that the criminal justice system, and half African American.
Right.
So we have more people in jail at a higher rate than we have, people in the nation. You know what I'm saying?
Wake up. Wake
Wake
up,
up.
black men, wake up.
That's right.
Wake up, black people, wake up. And they locking up our young ladies, too.
That's right.
And he
So
locking
wake
up our youth. Yo, they built, just here in Baltimore, at least 2 that I know of, juvenile justice facilities is what they call it, juvenile justice, right? And so you're not even 18, but you plugged in the system.
Right.
It's a money-making monster. It's a money-making machine.
Right.
The people who manufacture the ankle bracelets, right? That's a business. That's a business. For every unit that they sell, they making money. You know what I'm saying? So it's in their interest to have you jammed up. You know what I mean?
Right.
And like I read something that said that the criminal justice institutions, these jails and these prisons, are often privately owned, meaning that it's a business, meaning that somebody owns it, like you will own any other business. You know what I'm saying?
If you need your profit margins up, we need prisoners.
Right.
That's real quick, though.
And real quick, and they contract with the states so that if the states do not send X amount of people to the prison to be locked up,
The money's not right.
they will sue. They will sue the states. They will sue them. The jail say, "Hey, guess what? Our census is low by 50%. We gonna sue you for that money we supposed to be making."
And see, that's why I wanted to ask you guys, who's really on our side? The people we put in power or people we put in office, are they out to get us? Are they out to destroy us? Real talk, sir.
Real talk.
Like I put this. Let's say we voted to put this mayor or governor in power.
Yep.
What are they doing to prevent this?
They act like they don't know you anymore.
Yeah.
Not
Soon as they
until
get that
election
vote,
time.
and that's why I'm really not mad at people who like, you know what? I don't know if I'm a Republican or a Democrat.
Right.
Because black people have for the longest time sided on
Solid
the
devotion.
Democratic side, but have got nothing for
No
their
results.
vote.
And
Have
before
seen
that,
very
it was
little.
Republican. Before that, it was Republican.
Right.
Black people was 100%.
But how was the city when they were Republican? What was the state of the city? You understand what I'm saying? What was the state like? Was it better?
I guess they
still-
switched the Republican with Lincoln. So
Right. We still had problems. Think about it. Like
I was coming out of slavery.
yeah. Think about a whole timeline in this country. When has it been great for us? Like I'll wait. You know what I'm saying?
So I was
Like,
going to struggle.
yeah. When has it been great for us? When we was picking cotton. When we had to fight for our civil rights. When we was getting our neighborhoods flooded with crack and guns. Like at what point in time in the timeline has it been great? You know what I'm saying? And
country is
it's
a
like
nation
how
of
long
thieves.
or why do we buy into the system when it don't truly represent us? You know what I'm saying?
I think it goes back again. Knowledge yourself.
Knowledge of your creator.
Being
Your
properly
history.
educated.
Yep.
Right.
And I think personally, y'all may disagree with me on this one. I think we should fight for our own state. I mean, our own land.
Now you
Like
getting in.
like how they did occupy Palestine. And I don't want to go too deep into that.
Deep
But
dive.
I think that they should give us a piece of land
Right. But here's
over
the
in
problem.
Africa. Those who want to get out of the matrix,
That's what
those
Liberia-
who want to go, they can go.
You talking about
and start-
Pan-Africanism.
And not only that, but it's only right,
Yeah, but see,
you know? And
yeah.
because
But
think
see,
about it.
The
Go.
problem with that is who you going to divide it from, how you going to, because see, they done messed that whole thing up where you've jumbled nations together that weren't necessarily nations, so now you got tensions within.
Yeah. They got their hands in everything.
Right.
Even if you were to go back to Africa right now and say, everybody, we need to establish our own. You know what I'm saying? They have their hand in them resources and in that country for generations, yo.
Right.
Generations, yo. It's like you would really had to start from the ground up. It's an uphill battle, you know what I'm saying? Because at this point in time, it's like it's been so convoluted, everything is everywhere. It's like you will really have to start from the ground up. And like, don't think that that's not a blip on their radar. Anything that look like that, sound like that, Pan-Africanism, pro-African, anything like
Dangerous.
it's on the beep 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 radar. Oh yeah,
Dangerous.
send the drone strike.
Danger.
Send a drone strike. It would be a good time for a soundbite, right? But yeah, y'all, wake up, people, wake up, yo.
We ran long, but we had to.
Yeah, that was passionate. We needed that. You know what I'm saying?
Crow's Corner Podcast, brought to you by
Jim Crow with their debut album, The Uninvited. See their side, already been told. But this music for the world. Get your copy on all streaming platforms today.
Very much with the protesters. These young men are incredibly angry.
Hey,
Hey,
back.
Lisa, can I get a date on Friday?
Crow's Corner. It's your boy Adam Hill.
Yeah.
On the wheel to still. No, I'm playing.
Coming around the way. Wahamiyd, because,
Yeah. Shout out to 90s hip hop. Golden era.
The needs of people on a day-to-day
It
basis.
is a golden era.
80s hip hop.
Golden era. The
Early
foundation.
2000s. And shout out to the new school too.
Yeah,
man.
new school doing their thing right now.
Yeah.
Doing their thing. You can agree or disagree.